Imagine a place where the sky melts into the ocean, where time slows, and every moment feels untouched by the rush of the world. A place where the sand is so soft, it feels like walking on clouds. The water's so clear you can see life thriving beneath the surface, and the sun paints the horizon in colors you've only dreamed of. Welcome to Havelock and Neil Islands, hidden gems of the Andaman and Nicobar archipelago. Here, paradise isn't a fantasy, it's reality. Over the next journey, we'll explore turquoise waters, pristine beaches, vibrant coral reefs, and the quiet, magical rhythm of island life. This is a story not just of beauty, but of presence, simplicity, and the unforgettable spirit of India's most serene islands. Stay with us, because what you're about to see will change the way you see paradise forever. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to reach the edge of a country and discover a world that feels untouched by time? Far away from crowded cities, noisy streets, and hurried lives, there exists a place where the ocean glows in shades of turquoise. The air smells of salt and freedom, and nature speaks louder than words. Welcome to the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, India's most breathtaking secret, hidden deep in the Bay of Bengal. As the plane descends, or the ferry cuts through endless blue water, the first thing you feel is silence. Not emptiness, but calm. The kind of silence that instantly slows your heartbeat. Below you, Emerald Islands rise gently from the sea, wrapped in dense tropical forests and surrounded by coral reefs so clear they look unreal. This is not just a destination. This is an escape into another rhythm of life. The journey begins long before you step onto the sand. It begins with anticipation, the feeling that you are about to witness something rare. As you approach Port Blair, the gateway to Andaman, the ocean stretches endlessly in every direction, broken only by clusters of green islands, floating like jewels. Boats sway gently in the harbor, palm trees dance with the breeze, and the sunlight reflects off the water like scattered diamonds. Here, life moves differently. There is no rush, no pressure, only the steady sound of waves and the distant call of seabirds. The people greet you with warmth, their smiles unhurried and genuine. The island air feels lighter, cleaner, as if it carries away the weight you didn't realize you were holding. Leaving Port Blair behind, the real adventure begins as we head toward Havelock Island, now officially known as Swaraj Dweep. The ferry glides across open water, the horizon stretching endlessly ahead. Dolphins sometimes appear beside the boat, leaping effortlessly through the waves. The sea changes color constantly, deep blue, turquoise, emerald, depending on the light and depth. It's mesmerizing. Time seems to slow with every passing mile. As Havelock comes into view, you are greeted by thick jungles spilling down toward the shore, untouched and wild. Wooden yetis reach into crystal clear water, and the scent of salt mixes with the earthy aroma of rainforest leaves. The island doesn't shout for attention, it gently pulls you in. There are no towering buildings here, no overwhelming crowds, just narrow roads, scooters humming softly, and beaches hidden behind curtains of trees. Stepping onto the island feels like stepping into another world, a world where mornings begin with sunlight filtering through palm leaves and evenings end with fiery sunsets melting into the sea, where barefoot walks are normal, conversations are slow, and the ocean is never far away. This is a place that teaches you how to breathe again. But Andaman is more than beauty, it is emotion. It's the feeling of standing at the shoreline, watching waves roll in endlessly, realizing how small you are and how vast the world truly is. It's the sense of freedom that comes from disconnecting from phones, schedules, and noise. It's the quiet joy of doing nothing and realizing that nothing has never felt so perfect. These islands have stories to tell, stories of survival, isolation, resilience, and harmony with nature. For centuries, They remain distant and mysterious, protected by the sea and their thick forests. Even today, much of Andaman remains untouched, preserved carefully to protect its fragile ecosystem and unique way of life. As the sun begins to lower, the sky turns shades of gold and pink, reflecting softly on the water. Fishermen return to shore. Birds glide silently across the horizon. The island prepares for night, calm and peaceful. In moments like this, you understand why Andaman stays with people forever. It doesn't overwhelm you. It gently changes you. This is only the beginning. Ahead lie some of India's most beautiful beaches, vibrant coral reefs, underwater worlds filled with life, and islands where simplicity is the greatest luxury. Havelock and Neil are waiting with their turquoise waters, white sands, and stories written by the sea. What if paradise wasn't a distant dream, but a real place you could wake up to every morning? A place where jungles meet the sea, where roads are shaded by palms, and where time seems to move at the pace of the waves. This is Havelock Island, the crown jewel of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and one of the most beautiful places in all of India. Havelock doesn't announce itself with luxury or noise. Instead, it welcomes you quietly, gently, almost shyly. As you travel through the island, the first thing you notice is how green everything is. Thick tropical forests stretch on both sides of the narrow roads, sunlight filtering through layers of leaves like golden dust. The air smells fresh of salt, rain, and earth. Scooters glide past slowly. Locals smile as they pass, and there is an unspoken rule here: no rushing. Life on Havelock is beautifully simple. Mornings begin early, with the sun rising softly over the sea. Fishermen prepare their boats, cafes open their wooden shutters, and the island slowly wakes up to the sound of waves. There are no traffic jams, no honking horns, only birds calling from the trees and the distant roar of the ocean reminding you how close it always is. As you explore deeper, you realize that Havelock is not just about beaches, it's about balance. Resorts and homestays blend into the jungle instead of replacing it. Paths wind through coconut trees and mangroves. Nature is not something you visit here, it's something you live inside. Every walk feels like an invitation to slow down and notice the small things, the patterns of sunlight on the sand, the rhythm of waves breaking, the quiet conversations of leaves in the wind. The beaches of Havelock are hidden treasures, often tucked behind walls of greenery. You don't see them until the last moment, then suddenly, the forest opens and the sea appears in all its glory. White sand stretches endlessly, water glows in shades of blue and green, and the horizon feels impossibly wide. Standing here, it feels like the rest of the world has disappeared. But Havelock's beauty isn't only natural, it's human. The people who live here carry a calmness that mirrors the island itself. Many came from different parts of India, drawn by the sea, and chose never to leave. Their lives are shaped by tides and sunsets, by seasons and storms. Conversations are slow and warm. There is time to listen, time to connect, time to simply be present. Food here reflects the island life, fresh, flavorful, and unpretentious. Seafood caught the same morning finds its way onto plates by evening. Coconut, rice, spices, and grilled fish form simple meals enjoyed with ocean views. Dining isn't rushed. It's an experience meant to be savored, often accompanied by the sound of waves and fading sunlight. As the day moves forward, Havelock changes color. The harsh midday sun softens into golden afternoon light. The sea becomes calmer, smoother, almost glass-like. Shadows grow longer, and the island prepares for its most magical moment, sunset. People slowly gather near the shore, not speaking much, just watching as the sky turns orange, pink, and purple. The sun sinks into the ocean, and for a few quiet minutes, everything feels perfectly still. Evenings on Havelock are peaceful and intimate. Soft lights glow from beach huts, Conversations drift through the warm air, and the stars begin to appear brighter than most people have ever seen. With little light pollution, the night sky reveals itself fully, reminding you how vast the universe truly is. Havelock Island doesn't try to impress you. It doesn't demand attention. It simply exists, beautiful, calm, and real. And that's exactly why it stays with you. It teaches you how little you need to feel complete. How silence can be comforting. How nature, when left untouched, becomes the greatest luxury of all. And this is only the beginning. Beyond Havelock's calm rhythm lie iconic beaches, underwater worlds, and a quieter island waiting just across the water. There are beaches that look beautiful in photographs, and then there are beaches that make you forget the world around you the moment you arrive. Places so quiet, so pure, that even your thoughts slow down. Radhanagar Beach is one of those rare places. Often ranked among the best beaches in Asia, this stretch of white sand on Havelock Island is not just a destination, it's an experience that touches something deep inside you. The journey to Radhanagar itself feels special. A narrow path winds through dense tropical forest, sunlight breaking through tall trees in soft golden patterns. You hear the ocean before you see it, a deep, rhythmic sound, steady and calming. And then suddenly, the forest opens and the sea appears. Wide, endless, unreal. The sand here is unlike anything else. Soft, powdery, and impossibly white. It feels cool beneath your feet, even under the tropical sun. The shoreline curves gently, stretching far into the distance, framed by lush greenery on one side and the infinite ocean on the other. There are no loud crowds, no concrete structures, no distractions, just nature, exactly as it was meant to be. The water at Radhanagar is calm and inviting. Waves roll in, slowly, almost respectfully, as if they don't want to disturb the peace. The sea changes color with every step, pale turquoise near the shore, deepening into shades of blue as it stretches outward. When you step into the water, it's warm, gentle, and clear enough to see the sand beneath your feet. Swimming here feels effortless, like floating inside a dream. But what truly sets Radhanagar apart is its silence. Not an empty silence, but a living one. The sound of waves breaking softly, leaves rustling in the breeze, birds calling from the treetops. There's no music playing, no voices competing for attention, just the sound of nature, uninterrupted. In that silence, something changes. You breathe deeper, you slow down, you feel present. As the day moves forward, the beach begins to glow differently. The harsh midday light softens, and everything takes on a golden tone. The palm trees cast long shadows across the sand. The sea becomes smoother, reflecting the sky like glass. People walk quietly along the shoreline, some barefoot, some simply standing still, taking it all in. No one rushes here, no one needs to. And then comes sunset, the moment Radhanagar is truly famous for. The sky slowly transforms, layer by layer. Soft yellows turn into fiery oranges. Oranges fade into pinks, purples, and deep blues. The sun lowers itself gently into the ocean, as if sinking into liquid gold. For those few minutes, the entire world seems to pause. Conversations stop, phones lower. Everyone watches in silence as nature performs its most powerful act. When the sun finally disappears, the horizon glows softly, and the first stars begin to appear. The air cools. The beach empties slowly, reluctantly, as if people don't want to break the spell. Even after you leave, the image of that sunset stays with you, not just in your memory, but in your chest. Radhanagar Beach doesn't overwhelm you with excitement. It calms you, grounds you, reminds you how beautiful simplicity can be. It's not about activities or attractions, it's about feeling. about standing barefoot on untouched sand, listening to the ocean, and realizing that happiness doesn't always need words. This beach has seen countless travelers arrive with busy minds and heavy hearts, and leave quieter, lighter, changed. Because Radhanagar doesn't just show you beauty, it gives you space. Space to think, space to feel, space to simply exist. And as night slowly wraps the island in darkness, one thing becomes clear. Radhanagar is not just one of India's most beautiful beaches. It is a reminder of what the world looked like before noise took over and what it can still be if we protect it. But the journey doesn't end here. Beyond this iconic shoreline lies another side of island life, deeper connections, everyday moments, and stories shaped by the sea. To truly understand an island, you have to look beyond its beaches. You have to watch how mornings begin, how evenings fade, and how people live when no one is watching. On Havelock Island, life doesn't revolve around the clock. It revolves around the sun, the sea, and the seasons. The day here starts early. Before the heat rises, the island is already awake. Fishermen prepare their boats near the shore, checking nets, moving quietly, working with the rhythm they followed for generations. The sea decides their schedule, not the other way around. As the sky slowly brightens, small cafes open their doors, the smell of fresh tea and coffee mixing with salty ocean air. This is the heartbeat of Havelock. Gentle, steady, unhurried. The roads are narrow and simple, shaded by tall palms and thick jungle. Scooters pass by slowly, often carrying families, groceries, or surfboards. There are no billboards shouting for attention, no rush to reach anywhere fast. Here, the journey itself is part of the day. Every ride feels like a quiet meditation, surrounded by green on all sides. What makes Havelock special isn't just where it is, it's who lives here. The island is home to people from many parts of India, each bringing their own stories, traditions, and reasons for staying. Some came for work, some came for adventure, and many came for a short visit and never left. Over time, they all learned the same lesson: island life changes you. People here speak softly, smile easily, and listen fully. Conversations are slow and meaningful. There is time for eye contact, time for silence, time to actually know the person standing in front of you. Life here strips away urgency and replaces it with presence. Children grow up close to nature, playing barefoot, swimming in the sea, climbing trees, learning the tides as naturally as others learn traffic rules. Elders share stories shaped by storms, seasons, and survival. The island teaches resilience without harshness, patience without pressure. Food is an important part of daily life. Meals are simple, fresh, and deeply satisfying. Fish, caught in the morning, often becomes lunch. Coconut finds its way into curries, chutneys, and sweets. Meals are shared slowly, often outdoors, with the sound of waves nearby. Eating here is not about indulgence, it's about connection. As afternoon fades, the island enters its softest phase. The heat eases. Shadows stretch across the ground. People gather near the shore, not for entertainment, but for reflection. Some sit quietly, some walk along the beach. Others simply watch the sea change color. The ocean is not a backdrop here, it's a companion. Evenings on Havelock are peaceful and intimate. There are no loud clubs, no flashing lights. Instead, there are lanterns, candlelight, and conversations carried by warm air. Music, if any, is gentle. Laughter is soft. The night sky reveals stars rarely seen elsewhere, reminding everyone how far removed this place is from the noise of the world. Life on Havelock teaches you something important, that happiness doesn't always come from having more. Sometimes it comes from needing less. Less noise, less hurry, less distraction. In return, you gain clarity, calm, and a deeper connection with yourself. People don't come to Havelock to escape life. They come to remember how to live it. And just when you think this island has shown you everything, another waits quietly across the water, smaller, greener, and even more peaceful. Beneath the calm surface of the Andaman Sea lies an entirely different world, a world of color, movement, and silent wonder. While Havelock's beauty is obvious above water, its true magic reveals itself only when you dive below. This is where the island transforms from paradise into something extraordinary. The moment you step into the sea, everything changes. Sound fades. The rush of the world disappears. All that remains is your breath and the gentle movement of water around you. As you descend, the ocean opens up, revealing coral gardens that feel almost unreal, vast, intricate, and alive. The coral reefs surrounding Havelock are among the healthiest in India. They rise from the seabed like underwater cities, built over centuries by tiny living organisms. Some corals stretch outward like branches of ancient trees, while others form massive rounded structures, glowing softly beneath the sunlight filtering through the water. Colors appear everywhere: deep blues, soft greens, bright yellows, fiery reds, all shifting as light dances across the reef. Fish move through this world with effortless grace. Schools of silver fish shimmer together like living clouds. Clownfish dart between coral shelters. Parrotfish glide past slowly, crunching coral as they feed. Every direction you look, something is happening. This is not a quiet place. It's a thriving ecosystem, busy and balanced, delicate and powerful at the same time. As you float above the reef, time seems to lose its meaning. Minutes stretch into moments of pure awareness. You forget about phones, schedules, responsibilities. Your attention narrows to the present, to the movement of fins, the patterns in coral, the rhythm of your own breathing. It's meditation in motion. For many visitors, this is their first encounter with the underwater world, and the impact is unforgettable. Fear quickly turns into fascination. The ocean no longer feels vast and intimidating. It feels welcoming, almost protective. You are not an outsider here. You are a guest, quietly observing life as it has existed long before you arrived. Occasionally, larger marine creatures appear, moving slowly and confidently through the water. Sea turtles glide past with ancient calm, unbothered by human presence. Rays sweep across the seabed like shadows, and in the distance, you may glimpse shapes moving through the blue, reminders that this world is far bigger than what you can see. Snorkeling near the surface offers its own magic. Sunlight pours through clear water, illuminating coral just beneath your feet. Even without diving deep, the richness of life is impossible to ignore. It's accessible, breathtaking, and humbling all at once. But with beauty comes responsibility. The reefs of Havelock are fragile. Every coral structure, every fish, every grain of sand plays a role in maintaining balance. The island understands this deeply. Conservation is not just a concept here, it's a necessity. Visitors are reminded to observe, not touch, to admire, not disturb, to leave nothing behind but bubbles. As you return to the surface, the world feels different. The sky seems wider. The air feels lighter. Something has shifted inside you. The ocean has a way of doing that, of reminding you how small you are and how connected everything truly is. Havelock's underwater world is not about thrill or adventure alone. It's about respect, about wonder, about realizing that some of the most beautiful places on Earth exist quietly beneath the surface, unseen by most. And when you step back onto land, the sound of waves greeting you once again, you carry that silence with you. a reminder that just below the surface of this island lies a universe of life, waiting patiently to be protected. But the journey doesn't end beneath the waves. Across the water, another island waits, quieter, greener, and shaped by a different rhythm altogether. Just a short boat ride away from Havelock lies an island that feels like a deep exhale. As the ferry pulls away and the sea stretches out around you, the noise of the world fades even further. Ahead waits Neil Island, smaller, quieter, and slower in every way. If Havelock is the heart of Andaman, Neil is its soul. The moment you arrive, you feel the difference. There is no rush here, no urgency. Roads are quieter, beaches are emptier. The air feels softer, heavier with the scent of salt and earth. Life moves gently, guided by sunlight and tides rather than schedules. Neil Island is greener, flatter, and more open than Havelock. Fields stretch alongside the road, dotted with banana trees, coconut palms, and small farms. The island feels lived in, not visited. Bicycles roll past slowly. Children wave as they pass. Smiles come easily here, without expectation. Time behaves differently on Neil. Mornings are unhurried, afternoons are slow and warm, evenings arrive softly, without announcement. People don't ask what time it is, they look at the sky. When the sun is high, they rest. When it lowers, they move. The island teaches patience without trying to. The beaches of Neil Island reflect this calm spirit. They are wide, open, and peaceful, often with only a handful of people scattered along the shore. The sea here feels closer, more intimate. Waves are gentle. The horizon feels near enough to touch. Standing at the water's edge, it feels like the island is whispering instead of speaking. What truly defines Neil Island is its simplicity. There are no towering resorts, no loud attractions, no pressure to do anything at all. Instead, there are hammocks tied between trees, slow walks along the shore, and long moments of silence. It's a place that invites you to stop performing and start being. The people of Neil live closely with the land and sea. Many are farmers or fishermen, working in harmony with nature rather than against it. Days are shaped by weather and water. When the sea is calm, boats go out. When it's rough, people wait. There is acceptance here, an understanding that not everything can be controlled. Meals on Neil are simple and comforting. Fresh vegetables from nearby fields, fish caught the same day, rice cooked slowly, flavors built around coconut and spice. Food isn't rushed or complicated, it's nourishment, both for the body and the spirit. As the afternoon light begins to soften, the island becomes even quieter. Shadows stretch across the fields. The heat fades. People gather near the beaches, not to entertain themselves, but to reflect. Watching the sea change color becomes a shared ritual, one that needs no words. Neil Island doesn't demand attention. It doesn't try to impress. It simply offers space. Space to breathe, to think, to feel. And in that space, something shifts. Thoughts slow. Worries loosen. You begin to hear your own inner voice more clearly. For travelers used to constant movement, Neil can feel unfamiliar at first, but slowly, its rhythm takes over. You stop checking the time. You stop reaching for your phone. You start noticing the sound of the wind, the warmth of the sand, the calm of the sea. Neil Island reminds you that stillness is not emptiness. It is fullness of a different kind. And as night falls and the stars appear above the darkened shore, it becomes clear why people fall in love with this place. Not for what it offers, but for what it takes away. Neil Island may appear quiet at first glance, but its landscapes tell powerful stories. Stories written by waves, wind, and time. Every shoreline here feels carefully sculpted, every beach shaped by nature's patient hands. To explore, Neil is to witness how beauty emerges not through force, but through consistency. The day begins at Bharatpur Beach, where the island greets the morning in soft light. The sun rises gently here, casting pale gold reflections across calm waters. This beach feels welcoming, almost protective. The sea is shallow and clear, allowing coral and fish to be seen just beneath the surface. Even standing at the edge, you can sense the life moving below, quiet, colorful, and constant. As the sun climbs higher, the beach reveals its full charm. Children play near the shore, laughter mixing with the sound of gentle waves. Locals prepare boats, moving with ease and familiarity. There is no rush, no chaos, only routine shaped by generations of living alongside the sea. From here, the island slowly leads you toward its wilder side. Laxmanpur Beach stretches wide and open, a place of raw beauty and endless horizons. The sand feels firmer beneath your feet, the wind stronger against your skin. This beach feels vast, almost cinematic, as if it was designed to remind you of how small you are in comparison to the natural world. As evening approaches, Laxmanpur becomes something else entirely. The sky transforms gradually, colors melting into one another: blue into orange, orange into deep crimson. The sun sinks slowly toward the horizon, its reflection stretching across the water like a glowing path. People gather quietly, drawn by the same unspoken instinct. When the sun finally disappears, a shared silence follows, a collective pause, as if everyone is holding on to the moment just a little longer. But Neil's most fascinating wonder lies where land and sea meet in a delicate balance. The natural bridge, carved by centuries of tidal movement, stands as proof of nature's patience. Formed entirely by water and time, this rock formation arches gracefully above the sea, textured with corals, shells, and living organisms clinging to its surface. Walking toward the natural bridge is an experience in itself. The path winds along the shoreline, revealing tidal pools filled with small marine life: starfish, sea urchins, tiny fish moving in clear water. Each step feels like entering a hidden world, one that exists only during certain hours, only for those willing to wait. Standing beneath the natural bridge, you feel humbled. The structure doesn't feel forced or dramatic. It feels earned, a reminder that nature doesn't rush. And yet, over time, it shapes landscapes more powerfully than anything else ever could. Neil Island's wonders aren't loud or overwhelming. They don't compete for attention. Instead, they invite quiet observation. They reward patience. They remind you that beauty doesn't always demand admiration. Sometimes it simply exists, waiting to be noticed. As the tide slowly rises and the bridge begins to disappear back into the sea, you realize how fleeting these moments are. The island offers its wonders on its own terms. Miss the timing, and they remain hidden. Respect the rhythm, and they reveal themselves fully. Neil's landscapes teach an important lesson, that the most meaningful experiences are often temporary. They don't last forever, and perhaps that's why they stay with us longer. As darkness settles over the island and the waves reclaim the shore, it becomes clear that Neil Island is not just shaped by nature, it is guided by it. Every rock, every beach, every tide tells the same story. Slow down, observe, and let the world reveal itself in its own time. On the islands of Andaman, food is more than nourishment. It is memory, culture, and connection. Every meal tells a story shaped by the sea, the soil, and the people who have learned to live in harmony with both. On Havelock and Neil, flavors are simple, honest, and deeply tied to the rhythm of island life. The day often begins with something warm and comforting. Freshly brewed tea or coffee, enjoyed slowly as the sun rises over the ocean. Breakfasts are light yet satisfying. Bread, fruit, eggs, sometimes paired with coconut-based preparations. There is no rush to finish. Mornings here invite stillness, not schedules. As the day unfolds, the sea provides its gifts. Fishermen return with their catch, boats rocking gently near the shore. Fish glistens in the sunlight. Snapper, tuna, reef. Fish each destined for kitchens just a few steps away. Nothing travels far here. Food moves directly from ocean to plate, preserving freshness in its purest form. Lunches are built around balance. Rice forms the heart of the meal, accompanied by curries infused with coconut milk, turmeric, and gentle spices. Flavors are rich, but not overwhelming. They complement the natural taste of seafood rather than masking it. Meals are often eaten outdoors, shaded by trees, with the sound of waves nearby a reminder of where everything comes from. On Neil Island especially, vegetables play an important role. Small farms produce bananas, papayas, gourds, and leafy greens. These ingredients find their way into simple dishes, cooked slowly, often using methods passed down through families. Cooking here is not about presentation, it's about care. As evening approaches, island cafes come alive in their own quiet way. Tables are set near the shore. Lanterns glow softly. Menus are short, focused, and fresh. Grilled fish, prawns, rice, salads, and coconut-based sauces dominate the table. Dining feels personal, almost intimate, as if each meal was prepared just for you. Eating by the sea changes the experience entirely. The salt in the air sharpens flavors. The sound of waves slows your pace. Conversations flow naturally, unforced. There's no need to check the time. Here, meals stretch longer, allowing stories to unfold between bites. But island food is also about community. Meals are shared, plates are passed, smiles are exchanged. On these islands, food brings people together, travelers and locals alike. Around a table, differences fade, replaced by shared appreciation for simple, honest flavors. Even desserts reflect the island's character. Fresh fruit, coconut sweets, lightly sweetened treats, enjoyed without excess. Sugar never overpowers, it complements. The goal is satisfaction, not indulgence. What makes Andaman's food truly special isn't complexity, it's intention. Every ingredient is respected. Every meal is grounded in place. Nothing feels rushed or wasted. Eating becomes an extension of island life itself, slow, mindful, and deeply satisfying. As night falls, meals end softly, plates empty. The sea continues its endless rhythm, and in that moment, you realize something important. The best meals aren't always the most elaborate. Sometimes, they're the ones eaten barefoot, under open skies, with the ocean just a few steps away. Island food doesn't try to impress. It nourishes quietly, and long after the flavors fade, the feeling remains of warmth, simplicity, and belonging. Beneath the beauty of turquoise waters and silent beaches lies a deeper story, one shaped by history, resilience, and respect. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands are not just a travel destination. They are a living reminder of time, memory, and responsibility. Long before travelers arrived seeking paradise, these islands stood quietly at the crossroads of history. Waves that now carry ferries once carried ships from distant empires. The forests that feel peaceful today have witnessed centuries of change, some gentle, some painful. To truly understand Andaman, you must listen to what the land remembers. One of the most powerful reminders of this past stands in Port Blair, the cellular jail. Though far from the calm beaches of Havelock and Neil, its presence echoes across the islands. Built during colonial rule, it once held those who fought for freedom, isolating them far from home. Thick walls, narrow corridors, and silent cells tell stories without words. Standing there, you feel the weight of sacrifice and the strength of the human spirit. But history here is older than stone walls and written records. The Andaman Islands are home to some of the world's most ancient indigenous communities. For thousands of years, these tribes lived in balance with nature, guided by the sea, forests, and sky. Their knowledge of tides, weather, and land far exceeds modern understanding. These communities live protected lives, away from outside interference, not as isolation, but as preservation. Their way of life is deeply connected to the natural world, reminding us that progress does not always mean change. Sometimes, survival itself is wisdom. Because of this, respect is essential. These islands are not empty landscapes waiting to be explored. They are living spaces, sacred in their own way. Tourism here comes with responsibility. Every step taken, every choice made, leaves an impact. The forests, reefs, and beaches that feel untouched remain so because of care and protection. Coral reefs are fragile. Forests grow slowly. Wildlife depends on balance. The islands teach a simple lesson: admiration must come with restraint. Visitors are reminded to take only memories and leave only footprints, and even those lightly. No plastic left behind. No coral touched. No space disrespected. Preservation here is not optional. It is essential. Andaman's story is not about ownership. It is about coexistence. Humans are not rulers of this land. They are guests. Guests who must learn when to observe, when to step back, and when to remain silent. As you walk along the shore, listening to waves that have broken here for thousands of years, it becomes clear how small one lifetime really is. These islands have endured storms, silence, and change, and they will continue long after we are gone. What they ask in return is simple: respect their rhythm. The beauty of Andaman is not just in what you see, but in what you choose not to disturb. And in that understanding, the islands offer something rare in today's world: a sense of humility. As the journey through Havelock and Neil comes to its final chapters, a truth becomes clear. The Andaman Islands are more than a destination. They are an experience, a whisper of nature's power, a lesson in patience, and a reminder of the beauty that exists when the world slows down. Every beach walked, every wave heard, every moment of silence has contributed to something greater than sightseeing. It has been a journey into stillness, connection, and memory. Standing on the shoreline of either Havelock or Neil, you feel a sense of timelessness. The sun reflects off water so clear they seem unreal, and the waves carry the same rhythm they have for centuries. In that rhythm, you understand why the islands feel eternal. Time here is measured not by clocks or schedules, but by tides, sunlight, and the slow unfolding of life itself. It is a lesson few places can teach, that to truly experience beauty, one must be present, fully and completely. The islands leave an impression because they balance contrast so effortlessly. Havelock embodies vitality, lively beaches, coral reefs bustling with life, a pulse that invites exploration. Neil embodies serenity, quiet beaches, open horizons, and the gentle whisper of the wind through palm trees. Together, they show how life can be both exhilarating and peaceful, and how balance is the essence of harmony. But beyond scenery, the island's true magic lies in their people. Locals who live with the sea, the soil, and the sun teach subtle lessons. Simplicity is a kind of luxury, patience is strength, and joy can be found in ordinary moments. Sharing a meal, cycling down a shaded lane, or simply watching the sunset becomes meaningful because life here encourages you to notice the small, vital things often overlooked elsewhere. Andaman also teaches respect for nature, for history, and for life itself. Coral reefs, forests, wildlife, and indigenous communities remind us that human presence is temporary, yet responsibility is eternal. These islands survive because they are protected, respected, and honored. Every visitor leaves a mark, no matter how small, and with awareness comes the power to preserve. In this delicate balance lies the true beauty of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The memories you create here linger long after the journey ends. A sunrise at Radhanagar, the soft glow of the sea at Laxmanpur, the silent dive into vibrant reefs, or the laughter shared over a simple coconut meal. Each moment imprints on the soul. Even when the waves fade from view, their rhythm echoes in memory. Even when the sun disappears below the horizon, its warmth remains within. And then there is the inevitable departure, leaving the islands behind, returning to noise, traffic, and the endless demands of life. Yet, Andaman doesn't leave you. The islands travel with you, quietly, subtly, like a secret kept in your heart. Their calm becomes a reference point, a reminder that the world can be slower, softer, and more beautiful than the chaos we often accept as normal. As the last ferry pulls away from the shore, the islands fade into the horizon, but the lessons endure. Andaman has offered more than sightseeing. It has offered perspective, that beauty is not always loud, adventure is not always extreme, and paradise is not always distant. Sometimes, it exists quietly, waiting for those willing to notice, to breathe, and to respect it. These islands are timeless, not because they are untouched, but because they invite humility, presence, and wonder. They remind us that the greatest experiences are often simple, fleeting, and deeply felt. And as night falls over the ocean, the islands rest under a blanket of stars, a perfect mirror to the serenity they have imparted to every traveler lucky enough to walk their shores. Even as the islands begin to fade behind you, their presence lingers in ways that are almost impossible to describe. Havelock and Neil do not rely on grand monuments or bustling streets to impress. Their power lies in subtlety. It is in the soft rustle of palm leaves, the gentle lap of waves on untouched shores, and the clarity of a sky so vast it feels infinite. These are the moments that lodge themselves deep within the soul, shaping the way you see the world long after you have left. The true magic of the Andaman Islands is not only in their scenery, but in the way they transform perception. Walking along deserted beaches in the early morning, when mist hovers above the water and the sun is still hidden, you begin to notice the small things, the intricate patterns in the sand, footprints that tell a silent story, the faint shimmer of tiny fish beneath the waves. Every detail becomes a reminder that life is composed of fleeting, delicate moments, and that beauty often exists in places where few look. Neil Island, with its calm expanses and open skies, teaches patience. Here, the tide does not hurry, the wind does not push, and the clouds drift without alarm. Time itself feels elastic, stretching and contracting with the sun's journey across the sky. Life slows to a rhythm measured in breath, in steps, in quiet observation. And in this slowing, something profound occurs. You begin to feel a connection to the island, to nature, and to a deeper part of yourself. Even Havelock, with its more bustling beaches and coral reefs teeming with life, invites reflection. Snorkeling through vibrant underwater gardens, watching schools of colorful fish glide in perfect synchrony, you realize that harmony is natural, not forced. There is a lesson here. Balance does not come from effort, but from understanding your place within the system. The coral does not struggle. The fish do not fight. Everything moves according to its own rhythm, and yet it all fits perfectly. The evenings, when the sun sinks toward the horizon, are perhaps the most unforgettable. Golden light spills across Radhanagar Beach, and the water glows as though it has captured fire itself. Shadows stretch along the sand, and the air carries the scent of salt, earth, and a faint sweetness from nearby vegetation. Travelers gather quietly, not for spectacle, but for witness to feel the sun's last touch on the day, and to mark its passing in silence. There is a collective understanding that moments like these are sacred, fleeting, and unmatched anywhere else in the world. Even as night falls, the islands continue to teach. Above, the stars scatter across a sky so deep it feels infinite. The Milky Way appears like a soft brushstroke of light, reflecting on the calm surface of the sea. Locals and travelers alike pause, realizing that human concerns are momentary, while nature's rhythm stretches beyond comprehension. Neil Island's gentle breeze, Havelock's vibrant reefs, the whispers of forests, and the endless horizon all merge into a singular feeling of awe and humility. Departure is inevitable, but the islands leave a lasting imprint. Every wave, every forested path, every meal enjoyed by the sea contributes to a mosaic of memory. Even in cities far away, the sound of the ocean, the feel of soft sand, and the calm presence of untouched nature can resurface in dreams, in quiet moments, reminding you that paradise is not lost. It simply resides in memory until you return. And as you reflect on your journey, a realization emerges. Havelock and Neil are not just places to visit. They are lessons in how to live, in slowing down, in observing quietly, in respecting the natural world, and in finding joy in simplicity. They remind us that the world's greatest treasures are not always loud, crowded, or polished. Often, they are quiet, humble, and timeless. This is why the Andaman Islands stay with us. Not because of photos or souvenirs, but because they touch something within a sense of wonder, freedom, and reverence for life. They teach that true beauty does not demand attention, but gives it generously to those willing to see, listen, and feel. And in that generosity, every traveler finds a piece of paradise that will remain long after the journey ends. Even after the final steps on soft sand and the last dips in turquoise water, Havelock and Neil leave something that cannot be packed in a bag, a sense of stillness that feels impossible to find anywhere else. As the ferry cuts through the Bay of Bengal on the return journey, the islands shrink in view, yet their presence grows stronger within. The memories are not just visual, they are emotional, spiritual, and visceral. Each wave, each tree, each sunrise and sunset has etched itself into the heart. There is a rhythm here, unlike anywhere else in the world, a rhythm dictated by tides, sunlight, and wind. It is a rhythm that teaches patience, gentleness, and observation. Standing barefoot at the shoreline, watching waves break softly and endlessly, you feel the weight of time differently. Hours stretch into moments. Moments stretch into eternity. The islands show that beauty is not about grandeur, but about harmony between land and sea, humans and nature, silence and sound. Radhanagar's powdery white sands, Laxmanpur's vast horizons, and the hidden coves along Neil remind us that perfection exists quietly, patiently, without fanfare. The coral reefs beneath Havelock's waters pulse with life, a reminder that even the smallest unseen worlds are essential to the larger picture. Neil's forests, open fields, and natural bridges whisper stories of patience, resilience, and balance, that all things, great or small, have their place. What travelers often carry away is a shift in perspective. On these islands, time is no longer measured by minutes, but by tides. Joy is not measured by accomplishments, but by awareness. Freedom is not measured by distance traveled, but by connection to nature and oneself. Even ordinary activities, cycling along a quiet road, tasting fresh coconut water, observing a seabird glide across the horizon, become extraordinary when framed by the stillness of the islands. Evening on Neil Island brings the final lesson of the journey. The sun sets with deliberate grace, painting the sky in golds, pinks, and purples that ripple across the water. Locals and visitors alike pause, witnessing a ritual that repeats every day, yet feels unique each time. The sky reflects a simple truth. Some of the most beautiful things in life cannot be controlled, predicted, or possessed. They can only be experienced fully and gratefully. And as darkness settles, the stars emerge like scattered diamonds on a black velvet canvas. The Milky Way stretches across the sky, mirrored faintly on the calm ocean surface. Silence deepens, broken only by the gentle hush of waves and distant calls of nocturnal birds. In this quiet, there is clarity, a sense that the world can slow, that beauty can be understated, and that presence itself is enough. The islands teach that leaving does not mean losing. Havelock and Neil remain in memory, in emotion, and in perspective. Every visitor carries away a piece of their calm, their beauty, and their lessons. These are islands that redefine what it means to experience paradise, not by seeing every corner, but by seeing fully with attention, respect, and openness. By the time the journey ends, you understand why the Andaman Islands are unforgettable. They are not merely destinations on a map. They are reminders of the quiet magic that exists in the world, waiting for those willing to pause, breathe, and observe. They show that paradise is not always about extravagance or luxury, but about harmony, patience, and the simple, profound joy of being present. Havelock and Neil do not belong solely to those who visit them. They belong to time itself, to the ocean, to the sky, and to anyone who will honor their rhythm. And in leaving, you carry their essence. The memory of soft sands, turquoise waves, golden sunsets, and a stillness so deep, it reshapes the way you see the world. This is the lasting gift of the Andaman Islands. A transformation quieter than noise, deeper than scenery, and more enduring than the fleeting moments of travel. For anyone who seeks not only beauty, but understanding, Havelock and Neil offer both quietly, generously, and eternally. As the sun sets over Havelock and Neil, and the waves whisper their eternal rhythm, one truth becomes undeniable. Some places are not just seen, they are felt. These islands leave more than memories. They leave a piece of themselves in every heart that visits. Soft sands, turquoise waters, golden sunsets, and the calm of untouched nature remind us that paradise is not distant. It exists where we slow down, breathe, and truly observe. Though we leave the shores behind, the lessons remain. Beauty is found in simplicity. Joy is discovered in presence, and wonder lives in the quiet moments we often overlook. Havelock and Neil are eternal not because they are perfect, but because they teach us to see, feel, and respect the world in its most natural form. So wherever you go, carry their rhythm with you, the soft sway of palm trees, the gentle lap of waves, and the endless horizon reminding us that paradise isn't a place, it's a way of being. Until next time, let the spirit of these islands guide your journey, wherever it leads.